This is so painful. I can't. I guess I need to get a pickup on this Mando. Okay. You gotta be. I guess you gotta be so far from it. I don't know. Now I can't find my pick. Confound it. It might need to be tuned up. Oh. All right. Well, I'm just out here on here goofing off. All right. Audio. Okay. Just remember, I got audio delays and it's goofing me up. I don't, these headphones might not be able to pick up. Yeah. I laid down on a $3 pick or $6 pick. Now I can't find it. All right. Yeah. Come on, Starlink. Put some. Oh, I think I did the wrong one. All right. Try and turn some of the gain up. See? Yeah. I'd like to cut back some of the gain. Out of that one. All right. Well, I don't see anybody on here. So I'm just going to play around with the Mando. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm trying to hit the directional. So all right. Yeah, it looks like they're both pretty equal coming out of the or it couldn't be the cable. It would cause it to miss a frequency. All right. At least it's not echoing. Unless I talk down like that. But if I keep it quiet right here on this mic. I don't know if that compressor. I don't know. I'm here till 7. Anybody want to join me? Come on. If you watch it later on, this is the, I'm going to call it the Raven County Rag. I talked about that in some early videos, talking about what rag is being an old ham radio term called the rag chewing, where people would get together on a determined frequency, and they would share what news they knew in their community or in their region. Voice of America. Of course, we didn't have to listen to them. We can gather our information from our fellow ham operators. It won't. It don't pick up that frequency. I wonder what frequency that is. I wonder if I just turn it off. Well, the mic, yeah, the mic is still working. How about I turn that on off? Anyway, I've been found this old mixer in the closet, and I've hooked it up to this Frankenstein looking audio input stuff. I was seeing if it'd work. I think it works with the guitar, but it doesn't seem to. It just it'll it sounds in these headphones. It sounds like it's catching that lick, but it ain't playing the tone. It's just playing the wire. Oh well, I have to go back and listen to it. All right, well, I'm gonna do is turn that foolish thing off. And I'm going to put this thing away. It don't matter. I get this old cradle for that Mando. And that son of a gun is about aggravating. It never wants to cradle in it, right? And well, you always want a position. Let me get rid of these darned old headphones. Let me kill them. It messes me up. There we go. What does that say? You know, let me get these. You know, I believe Elon ought to investigate some of these software companies that promise to sell you protection. Because I never got one email from Defender. I know that's part of my package that I have that. I've always used McAfee. Well, I was overpaying, and I had another one called Kaspersky. I had 3 of them. They were hitting me for, man, hundreds of dollars a year for all of them. And I decided I'm just going to narrow it down to one, to this Defender. And now they're sending me all kinds, wanting to increase my coverage. Beware this, beware this, get this VPN, get this, get that. It's like, man, and I know I've talked about it. It's like when you give somebody your money for a service, they turn you into an opportunity to market your shit, your name, your number, and all that to everybody in the universe. And then you get pounded by, they're pounding you wanting to upgrade the service. It is crazy, man. They must be going broke if they have to do that. What is it? Something else I saw the other day that I used to, let's see, gold and silver. Oh, I know. Pardon me. I know what it was. Windows and doors and siding companies are starting to get active. That means they're starting to go direct and cutting out all the little guys because their profits are starting to shrink. I believe it's part of an economic cycle. Let's see what this thing says. Error. 2623. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Let me check. Let me get this. Check my Starlink. Starlink is my savior. But sometimes it gets a little spotty. They got no. They're wanting to update again. I can't update. I'm in the middle of something. Oh man. Them son of a guns. Ping success, latency, power draw, throughput, outages. come on, man. I can't believe they're wanting to update in the middle of this, and I'm getting slow. Yeah, well, I'm gonna soldier on, by God. I just don't care. I'm gonna keep soldiering on. If it gets a little stuttery and all that, y'all know what's happening. Starlink, I bet there's all kinds of adversaries out there after the Trump administration and Elon Musk. Man, these people been getting on the gravy train for decades, and they don't want to get off of it. They're not poor working slobs. They stay in school 10, 12, 14, 18 years, getting whatever high level degree while working their way into the government so that they're considered some kind of elite. And then, I don't know. I think it's changing. And, man, I understand it. That's like being a darn trust fund baby, and all of a sudden the trust fund goes broke. You don't know what you're going to do. You're just jammed up, and you're mad, mad, sad, crying. Well, I imagine that's what some of these bureaucrats are like. They know they've had it made, man. It's you get in the door, and then you got to do your time, and then they're hiring more, and then you become it's a bureaucracy. It's meritocracy has no place in a bureaucracy. It's based on tenure and seniority and the union stuff. That's what it's based on. And I imagine, but they used it, man. I always thought that was for the union guy, the working class. Heck no, man. That's for the elites. And I've always been sold it as a function of the union, the union to protect the working guy, us blue collar dudes out here trying to make a living. It's wrong. It's all wrong. I might be some confused old country boy sitting out here in the hills, and I've done my studying. I got a copy of the Pocket Constitution. I got a copy of the Bible. And everything I'm seeing around me is direct opposite of what I understand to be right and moral based on the Constitution and the Bible. I mean, what else should a man pay attention to? I mean, I don't care if you pay attention to Buddha and the Bible. I mean, Buddha and the Constitution. I don't care if you pay attention to Hare Krishna and the Constitution. Don't matter to me. As long as you don't perpetrate, I don't care if you're Muslim. As long as you understand the Constitution. And the Constitution says, my rights end where yours begin. Here we go. Stuttering and slamming again. All right. See, if I shut that Starlink down right now, it'll disrupt the stream. But the stream is lagging, saying it's not getting enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, y'all gonna have to suffer, cause I'm gonna sit here for another few minutes. What time is it? 6:28. I could make this a half-hour show instead of entertaining y'all. Well, Rabun County Rat. Let me go to this is what's written in a homepage there. I haven't done any customization. I'd like for somebody to make a logo for me. If you get in touch with me, we'll talk about it. Rabun County Rag. Who we are a community of like minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, and the techniques thereof, and protecting our environment, culture, families. Oh, I read that wrong. We are a community of like minded people with common interest in hunting and fishing and the involved techniques, protecting our community, culture, families, and environment. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. Okay, so that's who we are. We just my intent is just to be a good neighbor. I just want to be a good neighbor. That's all. We can all be good neighbors. We ain't got to be nothing special. Uh, we might go to church together. I don't know. And nobody's ever shown by here. I haven't looked at the stats. You know, man, how many is this? 10? 10 weeks of this? But, and nobody's been through, but I'm getting better and better, and I'm improving my skills, and I'm working on it all the time. Instead of looking at myself and all this, I got to remember to look at you. That's what we're out here for, to look at you. And that's the problem I have all the time. That's why I built that Frankenstein. Oh, did I put let me get my picture up here. What y'all think? Y'all let me get on here and not have my picture up there? What's the matter with y'all? I wouldn't do y'all like that. Well, you wouldn't do, you wouldn't do me that way either. I know. My old stomach making old boiling noises. Must have been that spam I had. This darned old thing, man. Y'all hear that thing? Come on. Jeez. I'm trying to get the old other screen, the big screen behind me there. I hope I didn't lose you doing that. We're going to keep going. It looks like it kind of bumped it a minute. That's my fault. And there. There we go. Okay. Close. Am I back? Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. If I caused a blackout on you, I was putting my logo behind me. I don't see it all, though. I'd like to see more of that logo than that. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we need to put more logo in there. There you go. There you go. All right. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with grease. Let me get this back. Yeah. There we go. So, am I still pumping out here? There we go. All right. Thing is, we talked about who we are, or who we are. What my purpose here is to gather together, gather us together. I'm a voice in the wilderness, just calling for anyone who listens. Hey, man, that's the way I feel. I want to share. I want to just share. What is that? Close it. Hang on, got another issue. I had to disconnect my darn galaxy. Oh, hey, man. Gardening. That's a big thing for me here. Have a grateful day, everybody. Wake up every day. Every day when you wake up, start looking for something you're grateful for the toothbrush you have and the coffee pot that you have to make a fresh cup, to the house you have that keeps you warm at night, to the partner that you have that you count on, rely on each other to make it through. Just keep that, keep that, make that a daily thing to look for gratefulness. News. Boy, we got some fires up here in northeast Georgia. They said they were probably related to human activity, but they don't think there's any criminal intent. Looks like somebody just didn't extinguish their fire fully and it got away. And the high winds blowed the embers back to life and blowed one off in the timber and sparked it off. If y'all were camping, neighbors, I know you know this, but man, and just make sure we put out our darn campfire. Boy, this thing is laggy. I am behind. Woo! I'm a full minute. Anyway, make sure you tell everybody to put out the campfires. Make sure we get the campfires out real good. Drown them, pee on, whatever you got to do. Stir them around, put them out. We don't want to ruin the great outdoors for ourselves, our future visitors who may come by and want to enjoy the great outdoors here in northeast Georgia. Yeah, fires. Well, we've had a lot of bills in the state house. I don't know if y'all follow that much, but one thing I did find interesting is the proposition to ban the phones in elementary and middle school. You know, I never realized that would even be an issue at that age. I I don't know. Maybe kids are smarter now. I don't know, but dadgummit, man, that young age, you really got to put the darn brain power in them. I mean, at that age, elementary and in middle school, these kids really need to be learning and understanding logic and reason and arithmetic and writing. That's the skill sets they're going to need for the rest of their life. You can pick up those darn phones anytime you want to, but if you're learning a skill set, you got to put that dadgum thing aside. Wow, what's going on with my logo there? Anyway, you have got to, eh, doing this live stream business that I'm learning, you got to think about it that, I got to make some show notes so I have something to talk about. I got to learn all this internet stuff, how to use a broadcasting software and put in the cameras and the speakers and the lighting and all this stuff to make it presentable, and then try and entertain, bring forth some value, generate community of interest, and all that. Those are the things that you're doing. And man, I bet just learning to this point, I probably have hundreds of hours into it because I'm not the brightest guy on the face of the planet. I admit it. So I probably got a lot of time in learning this, and I find it interesting. I find it a way to do outreach and to share. Uh, I find it a way to develop a community where we can't. I know people sit there and beep, 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 beep on the phone all the time. This one gets a good workout. This phone here gets a good workout. I guarantee you. Hey, let me go ahead and plug it in. So when I'm done here this evening, I can go upstairs and watch some crazy YouTube videos. Uh, but this thing is a tool. This is not an entertainment device, in my opinion. It's not. Now, I get caught up in the shorts, the little things when I'm scrolling through looking at tutorials or I'm learning something about something, or I'll get caught up and I'll scroll through it and I go, what am I doing? What am I doing? And go back to looking for something. I'd rather watch an old dude rebuild my wife sent me one the other evening, an old pencil sharpener. I would rather watch somebody rebuild an old pencil sharpener than watch these people I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're just trying to generate popularity. Um, I guess it's just a faster mindset. My wife showed me one the other day, a guy was making chopsticks. And I knew about making chopsticks. I'm versed in the art of bamboo fly rod making. So I kind of grasped the concept how it would happen, but they do it so fast and they don't show you the workmanship, the detail, the guy. Now the end product they showcase pretty good, but they don't show you they make it look like it's just you pick it up and do it, that it doesn't require gaining any kind of skill set, like using a mold to shave that bamboo to the proper configuration, or how to sand it properly and how to prepare the paints, because you just can't slap any kind of paint on those chopsticks. I mean, it has to be food safe, epoxied, and all that kind of stuff. Some ladies use them for their hair. I bought my wife, she's got long hair, and I bought them some for at one time. I don't think she ever used them, sat around the house. But I think they're beautiful pieces of work. And you have to have some skill sets to make that stuff happen. Anyway, that's a long way away from phones banned in elementary and middle school. I'm afraid I'm going to have to be on board with that for the stance I submitted. Uh, People call it being indoctrinated, but at some point, we as humans need to learn and have a sense of organization, which comes from logic and reason. That's how we learn logic and reason, is through discipline. I don't want to make little monsters out of them. I like the little boys and the little girls who buck the system. They tickle me. They're they get it, and they should be punished. Uh, Hell, I know when I was a kid, punishment was some of my greatest lessons. Um, you know, I think it should be this way, and I'll make it the best way I know how. And if there's consequences associated with it, then I guess there are. I need to learn a different approach, but that's not going to change what I think is right. It may change my approach because of the man. And boy, these old, I got to quit watching so much of this darned old TV. You got them uh, two political sides just flat out, they're just lying about one another. They just lying, man, about each other. And I'm just going, it is kind of interesting though when you do recognize that the federal government has been running away for years. I mean, it's it's like some of the bigger maturing companies in the country, and they're in there with them too. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Ford, Chevy, call it whatever you want. Uh, the pharmaceuticals, uh, you know, them cats got the money. They're going to have legislation written to limit their competition. Old Andrew Carnegie, he did the same darn thing, and that's now we have antitrust laws in this country because I think they referred to Andrew Carnegie as the trust king. Might have been Charles Schwab, but one of them cats, man, they were doing the same thing, and they had to, and that was, mm, that might have go back to Teapot Dome, early 1900s. That was probably the 30s when the antitrust, because that was a combination of, what was all that around? Prohibition. And that black market money, that shit was good, man. Running that old corn liquor. That's better than gold. Even old George Washington had an issue with that. The whiskey rebellion. If it's fun and illegal, the government wants to get their portion too. They just we just legislate it and they can't have it off. They don't want to pay no taxes. Then when we bring it back, I bet they want to pay some taxes. I bet they'll pay instead of 10 cents on the dollar, they might pay 13 cents on the dollar just to get the privilege to make that moonshine again. Well, whatever. That's just the old rambling boy sitting up here in the mountains. Anyway, gardening. Boy, I spent probably a half a day. I got them old, I got two 72 seed pod trays by Jiffy, I think it's called, and one 36. So that's 180 plants I planted seeds for the other day. Uh, and I got them little heaters. I think they were $11 or $12 each. They fit perfectly underneath one of those planting trays. And you could set the temp. I don't know how accurate it is. I keep going in there and checking it, make sure I ain't got no smoke coming out of them. And you start plants, and then they're like little children. You think you got to check on them all the time till you get used to them and how they're going. And then, anyway, I got that done. And I believe second week after Easter, it won't matter. Hell, I got them started. Until they get too big to fit in the darn tray, the seed pods, and they start looking little. And I hope they don't get leggy. That's why I put them heating pads. Last year, man, them old things was leggy. And so this year, I studied up on it prior to getting ready. And people suggested if you put them, they're made for greenhouse. They're made for seed starters. You put them heating pads under them. You keep the soil temperature at a more constant warm rate because I'd use a heater and seal the room up and try and get it up to 75 at least. And I figured I put them pads down on a piece of plywood, just wide enough for them, or a little wider, so that during the day that plywood, let me get this thing positioned a little different. Am I sounding all right? Y'all let me know. I'm sure somebody will one of these days. You get that plywood positioned under it. And so during the day when they maintain a constant temperature, but at night, I shut the lights out for 8 hours. And so I went ahead and put the pads on that timer too, so everything shut down. And I'll go in there in the morning at 4:30 or 5 or 6, whenever the lights cut back on, and check it. And the temperature's within 5 degrees where it is, so that's no different than being outside, I wouldn't think. So that's what I've been doing. All kinds of tomatoes, some squash, both the yellow and the zucchini. That's what I've done. Y'all let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me what your thoughts are on gardening and what you're doing. A few events here, I guess, and I may go to it. I like coins. I like currency, numismatics, I think they call, and I just like it. But there's a coin show in Toccoa this Sunday, and I think it's from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I forget where. Toccoa Coin and Collectibles is the name of the outfit that's putting on the show. And I like going to see Bobby. She owns the place. I like going in there, man. It's a trip, collect little trinkets or look at old coins, and some of that stuff's expensive, man. Old Americana, early 1800s, late 1700s coinage, first coinage of the Americas. Some of that stuff, people, there's patriots out there collect that stuff. Yeah, that's another thing I need to do is get me a flag. I got one little one. Where's that old boy at? You see that guy right there? Yeah, let me show you. I'm gonna tell you a story. Let me see if I can get the focus. Will it focus? I can't see. Look at that. There it goes. Now, that flag is not a natural attachment. That old boy, yeah, man, he's a little road weary. I bought an old Harley Davidson motorcycle in 1992. Heritage Softail Classic. And either somebody gave me this or I bought it in a store. I don't remember. But I took him and took an old piece of leather and tied him to the brake oil reservoir, the brake fluid reservoir on the handlebars. And me and this old boy, we went, let me put him back. Yeah. So for years, I imagine at least 5 or 6 years, we rode and I got into it. I'd always been a motorcycle rider. I'm sure I told y'all about that. I've always loved motorcycle riding. Highway, on, off road, enduros, dirt bike. I like them all. Never was very good on the dirt. The old dirt bike boys that jump, nah, it's too. But I like to go trail riding, fishing. Anyway, uh, I tied him to the brake chamber there, a reservoir, a little square reservoir on top of the brake. It's on the right hand side. It's on the side road. And me and him rode 15,000 miles before I sold that motorcycle. 15,000 miles me and that little plastic fella went around on. I guess we went as far as Memphis, Asheville, maybe Charlotte. But most points were further south. Savannah, St. Simons, Jekyll, Daytona, Panama City. I think I've been to Birmingham a time or two, so mostly a southeast rider, but because I never had time, I had to do that. Boy, I had that old iron butt though. I tell you what, I could cut out and run to Memphis. I've been to Memphis, run to Memphis, and back on the weekend. And on a motorcycle, boys and girls, that's no easy feat, man. I don't know if I could do it today, but boy, ain't no way. I like to ride in a pickup truck. We got some shocks and all. Anyway, time's running away. We got about 10 more minutes. Toccoa coin show this weekend on Sunday, and I might go. And then I think I've talked it up a couple different times. Fly fishing seminar. Yes, sir. Oh, fly fishing seminar. See if I get the right one. Nope. I gotta rearrange every darn thing now. Fly fishing seminar. And I believe that thing is in Dillard. That. Yeah. Yeah, the fly fishing seminar is in Dillard. And I'll see if I can flip back. And the happenings. I want to say it's put on by, I guess it's Rabun County Trout Unlimited. Yeah. Yeah, this old darn stream is looking kind of weak, man. Basics of fly fishing. Yes, sir. Yeah. No, it's held at Rabun County Recreation Center Upper Gym. Who's it sponsored by? Rabun 101, Saturday. Beautiful sport. Rabun chapter of Trout Unlimited. So, it is a Trout Unlimited. It's in Rabun County. It's a fly fishing seminar, and that's on the April 12th. If you've not been exposed to fly fishing, um, and you'd like to learn it, it's not that hard. It's really a wonderful sport. It gets you into nature, and it teaches you about entomology, teaches you about fish habitat, uh, bug habitat, entomology. All about the bugs. I like to quote Hyacinth on this. Hyacinth bouquet. Um, a riparian delight. Fly fishing is a riparian delight. So I encourage you, if you got time, you got the bent to do that, go do it. Go do it. Yes, sir. That's what I say. Get my journal out when this thing is over. I need to write down what I did today, and I done plenty. I guarantee you, I wore out. Been in this office at 6:30. I slept a little late this morning. Didn't get up to 5:30, and down here by 6, and it is now 5 minutes to 7. And I've had lunch and went out in the yard and breathed some air and all that. But let me see here. Where are we at? Is it? Oh, it says now I have an excellent connection. Am I up to speed? I doubt it. I do. I doubt it. But anyway, fly fishing. Anything else? Hey, listen, if you guys got some information that you'd like to put out, and you're looking at this sometime during the week, and you've got something you would like to have mentioned here, or you want to be a part of the discussion, just send me a message, and I'll make sure to put it in the show notes, and we'll talk about it. Also, on the next section I'm going into here, I guess I'm just like anybody else. I call it the marketplace. If anybody's got something for sale here, somebody here in the community, y'all want to do some trading, you got some stuff you need for what they got, y'all work that out. I'll just be the middleman, and you could post it in the comments that you got this, and you can PM, and y'all can figure it out if y'all know each other. I've known guys for years worked together, done this together, and then to come to find out they're an expert in something that I never would have guessed. Or they were doing something, learning something, and they decided they weren't going to do that anymore, and were looking to get rid of the equipment that they had. I bought a lathe. I bought, some tools. I bought stuff from guys who say, hey, man, I got one of those, come get it. And we've known each other for years. You might be a neighbor, and you need something to do upkeep around your place. Say, hey, man, I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. And your neighbor